Hi all, so another week passes. So this week you'll see the new banners come up. It probably wasn't necessarily a big secret, but clearly being 6 or 7 months, the plan is to change our This Week at Astill design now to Road to Summernats Top 60. I've been talking about it for a while. It's not an easy thing to do to get one of these sort of cars finished in this sort of time frame. But for those that haven't been following all the way along prior to the videos, we're just going to run through how this car came to be here at Astill Design and some of the work we've done that you wouldn't have seen at this stage. And that'll bring us up to date. And then the next 6, well, what do we got left? 6.5, 7 months will be the week by week endeavours that we get involved in to get this car finished. Whole lot of decisions to make, whole lot of people involved to actually bring that car through to being finished for the Summernats. So I've got my little photos in front of me here and I'm going to utilise those to talk through it. So the car came to us as a complete rolling shell. It had been in a shop elsewhere and it had the front and rear end put in it, and some of the direction that the car had, the owner had sort of moved on from. It had been sitting in storage for a few years before I seen it, but a lot of the bits he had. So a couple of shots there with it sitting on wheels with some Simmons. The bumpers had been tucked and they'd played with the rear end a fair bit, which we've cut all that all off now. And of course that big beautiful engine that was in the crate, that we got to do that bit where you pull the crate apart and pull the engine out, which was nice. And then we progressed to chop the car up. So I was fortunate enough to find some new old stock rear quarters for it. And we'd sell a lot of the rear end stuff now that comes in, you know, replacement parts that we sell, that we're able to put that together. So you'll see in the photos there how we did that, and then we decided that we'd go with some really big wheels. So we're running a 20 by 12 on the rear with a 335. So we need to make some room for those. So we've actually moved the original rails inwards, inbound, and move those back so they line up and pick up the rear bumper mounts, and all of the rear taillight sections all as per original. And then the tubs were a pre-formed tub that we then trimmed down and made to fit. And you'll see in the photos there where the actual tubs have an outer edge as well. So rather than being just urethane to the quarters, they've got an outer. And then they've all been spot welded in, and they'd be stronger than the original now. They're a 2mm tub. And then because it's an independent rear end, which you'll see some photos in a minute hopefully, so there's an independent rear end, we then were able to fill up where the springs were, and you'll see the boxing in. And the same with the floor. We're going to run a fuel, an aluminium fuel cell with a drop-in high pressure pump. So we've boxed the floor to be able to take that. And then once we got to a stage where we had all of that rear panel fitting, it was all painted up in epoxy. So we used the Vibrant PPG urethane epoxy primer, and then over that we've put some 2K black just to seal it up and keep it protected, so that as we go through the build, that's already been sealed up. And then we progressed then to strip all of the panels. So we've taken the skins off the doors and the bonnet and the boot lid. And we do that because these cars are now 40 years old and they need to be stripped because they're rusting from the inside out. So we've done all of those now. The car, like I said, had been elsewhere, so we've sort of ground off all of the fillers and stuff they'd done and corrected some of that, flipped the roof up, blasted all the door frames, and then working towards getting all of those doors to fit nicely. And that's a bit of a chore with these cars to get the gaps correct, and where the tops of the doors pick up the glass, we've actually moved those around as well. So all of that work's been done, and part of that is so much of the hours involved in building these cars is in all those small things. So a lot of that's been done now for us. Well, we've done it, but we've had to do it. And they've all been sealed inside. So the doors, we use like a 2K POR 15 product in there. So it's like a very heavy chassis type paint that can go over bare metal and or a painted surface. So we've done all those, and then I've done all the gaps as I normally do. And that's a lengthy process where we weld the edge of the door to actually bring it up and get that 5.5mm gap. Gives us some consistency. And something I haven't done for a long time, but on the underside of the boot and bonnet, we've actually filled in all of those openings where you can normally see the skin through the shell. So a lot of time's been spent to weld those in and flip them up, ready to take some high fill. And then once we got the doors and all of the rear together and we sat the car down on the wheels, I realised that the wheel wasn't really sitting in the front wheel well very well. So once we sat it all together, we realised that the front wheel wasn't sitting in the opening very well in the wheel well. So I spoke to the owner and we made a decision, rather than just trim the front of the wheel opening, we actually cut the wheel opening out and moved it forward, by memory. Yeah, we moved it forward 30mm, and that's enabled us to have the wheel sitting nicely in the centres. Fair bit of work and a fair bit of hammering. And then one of the little goals that the owner had with this car that Peter would like to be done was to remove the aluminium nose cone on the front fenders. So Darren did an awesome job of manufacturing a pair of those that I will now weld on, which you'll see as part of the video process, because I haven't put them on yet, because until such time as I get the guard on and gap it to the door and get the bonnet on, I don't know exactly how long I want that guard to be. So that's one of those jobs that's waiting in the wings. The rear bumpers had a huge amount of work put into it as well. So it's an original XC sedan bumper, but we've tilted the bottom edge down and then boxed in where the number plate goes, and then reshaped all the ends so that it tucks in and fits nicely to the car. And then along the bottom edge, put a little recess in there, a bit more like a later model car. So that's all been done in steel. The bumpers will be painted, so we didn't have to finesse it quite as much as you would if you were trying to obviously do it in chrome. And one of the issues there is just to get both sides to match and get all of those gaps around the bumper to the lights and to the boot lid to look nice. So we've done that now, and very happy about the way that rear looks. And the tail lights are all standard. So there's been lots and lots done, and where the owner and myself, and Darren has a lot of involvement as well, we're very happy with the way the car sits and looks. On the front of the car, we're going to run a bit of a hybrid Cobra front spoiler. So there was a couple of different versions, a race version and a street version. I've bought the street version in fiberglass, and we're going to cut that up a bit to fit with what we're doing. To give the car a bit of depth in the front, but at the same time make sure we've got some ground clearance, because the car will be a driver. We've also done the grille, so the grille has been away and had the mouldings removed. We've done all the plastic repair, went back up and had the mouldings put back on, and it's now ready for paint. So lots of hours in lots of different areas have already been put into this car. On the underside of the bonnet, as I mentioned with the boot, we've fabricated pieces to go in all of those holes that will now, when the bonnet's up and you look from underneath, it'll be all painted and sealed up around the scoops. Huge amount of work. I've still got to do a bit more heat shrinking to sort that out, but we're heading towards that at the moment. The other big area that the engine bay on this car, because it's got an independent front suspension from Rodtech in it, the previous shop had already made a firewall and stuff that the owner and myself wasn't happy with, so we've cut all that out. And as it turned out, we would have been cutting it out anyhow because we went with the FG firewall. So we've cut all that out and sort of reshaped everything to suit what we need, which you're seeing in the videos now, and went down the process of designing and coming up with an inner wheel well that I think looks like a Ford, but gives us plenty of room for that big engine. Once again, as part of that process of trying to tick all the boxes to get all the parts done, we've also already cleaned up and checked and made sure we have all of the internal door parts. The electric motors for the electric windows, which are XC, have been disassembled, new gears and that put in them, and checked that they're all working. So a lot of those extra time things that often get left until after the bodywork, we have a lot of that already done. I mentioned the door gaps, so you'll see a few photos here that where where the top of the door frame goes into the body, we've actually matched those up with a similar gap all the way around. And then the centre pillar has a very wide radius on it. So to make it look nicer, I think, and better and more consistent, we've actually welded the edges of all of those pillars to actually square them up so that there's a nice square edge that matches the door to the pillar. So there's been a lot of those sort of tweaks done to the car already. One of the other areas that we've worked on and spent a fair bit of time on is the kick plates. So when the doors open, they've got the aluminium kick plate. We've actually deleted those and welded panels in. And what will happen now is when we do the FG interior, it'll be very similar to an FG, whereby the transition from paint to the trim will be the plastic panels out of the FG. So once again, a lot of time there. The process to go down the track of doing all this FG work with the interior, the dash, the wiring, we looked at going to a wrecker to buy parts and found it very difficult to find a good late model car with a good dash. So I ended up scoring an FG through a private sale that had been hail damaged in Canberra. Was still running, still registered, an XR6. So I purchased that and then drove it back from Canberra myself, and then went about disassembling the car. So we completely stripped the car and then kept what we needed, chopped up all the rest of it to get the firewall and the floor out of it, and then most of the rest of it went the trail to the tip. The advantage for us was it was a good clean car, had a good dash, and then we just salvaged a whole lot of stuff to the point where I really needed an extra container to put all the parts in. When you pull a whole car apart, it's amazing how much many bits you end up with. So we've done that, and we've been working down that track, which you've already seen on some of the videos. We managed to get that whole floor in, so we took the firewall and the floor with the outer sills, trimmed it down, which took like a day and a half to actually trim it down sufficiently to then try and put it into the car. Once we got it in there, and we put it in through the front window opening because we had no firewall, and then proceeded to get it low enough by trimming and working our way through the process. Once we were in a position where we could put a seat in it, make sure it sat okay with door pillars, that we had the right sort of headroom, we then went about manufacturing a plenum whereby we could utilise the FG lower plenum and an XC upper plenum. And then doing that, we then were able to have a full working set of wipers that use the FG motor for the computer to run correctly, and all of the wiper arms that were then operating the outside wiper arms. So a fair bit of head scratching on that one, but we got through the process and we've had that running and it all works nice. So once we had that in, then we need to set the engine in and work out how much clearance space we had for bonnets, steering, ground clearance. So we've been through that whole process, designed the inner firewall and the inner guards, and decided on the shock towers, and the owner's wrapped in the direction we're taking. And we then moved on to the wiring. So for those that haven't been involved in this sort of wiring, the difficulty is that nowadays there's 3 or 4 computers that are all linked together that need to talk to each other. And if you take one out of one car and one out of another, they don't actually talk, they've got to be recoded. So that was why we went with the whole car. But we then need to work out how we could fit all of this wires, fuse boxes and all in the car. So managed to get hold of a set of workshop manuals, and then spent quite a lot of time with tables laid out and the wires laid out to be able to actually go through and work out what we needed, what we're going to keep, what we're going to get rid of. And whilst that's going on, we're in the process of stiffening up the chassis in the front end. Once again, going over some of the work that had been done previously and adding to ourselves, because we've got that FG firewall now, so we've got to work out how to tie that all together. So fortunately all that's done. The seating position looks good, and we've now done the torque boxes, been able to mount the ABS and all of the wiring, and you've now been seeing that in the videos. So that sort of almost brings us up to where we are now, and the plan now is to be able to show you in depth what we get up to week by week. And there's 2 issues. One is the work itself, and then secondly to that is managing parts, having other people that help out on the car. So we've got trimmers, we've got painters, we've got people that do brake lines, fuel lines, air conditioning lines, the electrician. It just goes on and on and on, and all of those people help for us to be able to do that here in the one workshop. Most of those people come to me, and my role is to manage all that, and between Darren and I we do all of that fabrication, and now we've got Steve here, he can help out a bit as well. So I hope you enjoy what we're going to do. We've been fortunate enough to secure the support of both PPG and Mothers. They've come on board, so you'll see them mentioned, as I probably always mention them, but you'll see them mentioned a bit more. They're the ones that are helping make it viable for me to be able to do this, because there is a cost involved with editing and the actual filming process. So they're on board. I've still got a couple more that I'm talking to, and we'll bring them on as we go, but we're definitely going through to Summernats, and the clock's ticking, and I'm looking forward to being able to show you what we do. So welcome along.